Welcome to The Explainer. You know, it's fascinating how one crypto token can look like two completely different things at the same time. Today, we're talking about Pengu. To some, it's a ticking time bomb. But to others, it's a potential lottery ticket to life-changing wealth. So we're going to decode the hype around this massive Solana meme coin by looking at it through three totally different sets of eyes. A cold hard data analyst, a fast-moving technical trader, and a long-term crypto futurist.
So here's how we're going to break it down. First, we'll get a quick handle on what the penguin phenomenon is all about. Then, we'll put on those three different hats, the analyst, the trader, and the futurist. And we'll wrap it all up with the core dilemma that, honestly, every single crypto investor has to wrestle with.
All right, first things first. You've probably seen these little penguin avatars popping up everywhere, right? But what actually is Pengu? Why is everyone so hyped about it?
Okay, so Pengu is the top dog, or I guess the top penguin, of meme coins on the entire Solana blockchain. And this is not some small little project we're talking about. It's got a market cap in the billions. It all started when they basically just gave the token away to anyone who owned one of their Pudgy Penguins NFTs. And the whole thing is built around this kind of quirky idea of spreading penguin culture and good vibes. But really, the important thing to know is that it's big, it's got a huge community, and its price has been on an absolutely wild ride lately.
Now for our first lens. Let's put on our detective hat and think like an on-chain analyst. This person does not care about hype, they don't care about good vibes, they are a data purist. The only thing they trust is the raw, unfiltered story that the blockchain itself is telling them.
And when you look at it this way, a few red flags pop up immediately. For starters, the data shows more people are selling than buying, and its underlying economic rules, its tokenomics, look suspiciously similar to another coin called Bonk, which ended up performing pretty terribly. Maybe the most telling sign? The professional traders, the ones betting on its future price, are often bearish. That means they are literally paying money for the chance to profit if Pengu's price goes down. So that raises a huge question, right? If the data says a lot of regular folks are selling and the pros are betting against it, then who's on the other side of that trade? Who on earth is buying all this Pengu?
And this is where the plot thickens. This chart basically shows you the whole mystery. Look at those first two red bars. The number of smaller retail wallets, and even the regular-sized whale wallets, is going down. People are cashing out. But then, look at that green bar on the far right. The mega whales, we're talking wallets with over $1 million worth of Pengu, that's the only group that's actually growing. So while all the little fish are swimming away, the biggest sharks in the ocean are just quietly gobbling it all up.
Okay, let's take off the analyst hat and jump into the chaotic, fast-paced world of a short-term trader. This person isn't thinking about long-term stories or mega whales. For them, the only thing that matters is the price on the screen, right here, right now.
This quote just says it all. This is the trader's entire mindset. It's all about momentum. There's no loyalty, no belief in the project's mission. It is a simple, cold calculation. If the market's hot, you ride the wave up. If it's cold, you bet on it going down. End of story.
Now, from a trader's point of view, this is a massive warning light flashing on the dashboard. One of their key tools, called the RSI, is screaming overbought. Think of it like a car's engine running way into the red zone. And for Pengu, history shows that whenever this indicator gets this hot, a price drop tends to follow pretty quickly. The market just needs to cool off.
So for a trader, this right here is the whole game. The charts are showing two very clear paths in the immediate future. If it breaks out to the upside, you could be looking at a quick 27% gain. But if it pulls back from being so overbought, it could just as easily fall 12% to find its footing again. It is a high-stakes, high-wire act. All right. Finally, let's zoom all the way out. Let's forget the short-term noise and look at the big, wild, what-if scenario. This is the perspective of the long-term futurist, the dreamer, who sees absolutely massive, almost unbelievable potential based on how these market cycles tend to play out.
This whole viewpoint is based on one big idea, the expanding cycles theory. Basically, it suggests that each crypto bull run isn't just a little bigger than the last one, it's exponentially bigger. And if that's true, if that pattern holds, then the prices that coins can reach this time around aren't just ambitious. They're in a completely different galaxy than anything we've ever seen before.
So let's just play this out. If you apply this theory to Pengu, the numbers start to get absolutely insane. Let's say you invest $1,000. If Pengu just gets as big as Pepe did recently, your $1,000 turns into almost 4,000. Okay, cool. But what if it catches that Dogecoin lightning in a bottle from the last cycle? Now your $1,000 is almost 30 grand. And you can see where this is going. The numbers start to feel like pure fantasy.
And then you have the ultimate moonshot scenario, the absolute fantasy land where the entire crypto market gets huge and Pengu somehow becomes the #1 altcoin. In that case, that initial $1,000 investment could, theoretically, become over $1 million. This is the dream. This is the lottery ticket that fuels so much of this space.
So, how on earth do we make sense of these three completely different stories? You've got the cautious analyst, the opportunistic trader, and the dreaming futurist all looking at the same thing and seeing something totally different. Well, this brings us to a huge dilemma at the very heart of investing in crypto.
You are constantly trying to balance two incredibly powerful forces. On one side, you have the macro environment. Think of this like the massive ocean tide, led by Bitcoin. When the tide goes out, it tends to pull all the boats down with it. But on the other side, you have the idiosyncratic stuff, the factors that are totally unique to one coin like Pengu. Its community, those mega whales we saw, its own individual story.
And according to the analysts we're referencing, this is the single biggest mistake people make. They just can't separate those two forces. You could pick the best altcoin in the world, great story, amazing community, big money buying it up, but if that macro tide goes out and Bitcoin tanks, even the best project in the world can get dragged right down with it.
Which of course brings us right back to Penguin. So what is it? Is it a smart data-driven play where you just follow the mega whales? Is it a short-term gamble on chart patterns? Or is it a crazy long-shot lottery ticket for the next epic bull run? The truth is, the answer you get depends entirely on which lens you choose to look through.